We'll start with the preliminary pre-flight procedure. For the sake of this program, we'll assume that the exterior inspection has already been done, and this is the first flight of the day for this aircrew in this airplane. Preliminary pre-flight begins with initiating the IRU alignment, then checking the hydraulic oil quantities and the engine oil quantities. The flight crew and passenger oxygen remain to be checked on the aft overhead panel. Remember, flight recorder, Mach airspeed warning, and stall warning tests have been deleted from the preliminary pre-flight procedure. And finally, the circuit breakers and the emergency equipment must be checked. Had this crew already flown this plane today, there would be even fewer items. With preliminary pre-flight complete and with both pilots on board, we can begin the pre-flight procedure.
Let's get the pre-flight procedure started.
Okay. Looks good over here.
Okay, looks good here.
Note the first officer now manages the entire overhead panel. Also note that fuel pumps and electric hydraulic pumps are not turned on until you are ready to start the engines. The fire test is only required before the airplane's first flight of the day or after a crew change. The first officer completes pre-flight of the overhead by selecting window heat, turning the packs on, setting pressurization and lights, and then preparing his section of the mode control panel and the EFIS control panel. In the meantime, the captain has begun entering route data into the CDU. And preparing his EFIS control panel and his section of the MCP. After both pilots complete their pre-flight scan flow of the side panels, forward instrument panels, and down the center aisle stand, they can begin the pre-flight checklist.
Let's go ahead and do the pre-flight checklist.
Okay, pre-flight checklist. Oxygen.
Okay, it's tested 100% on the left.
Tested 100% on the right. Navigation.
As we saw earlier, the pre-flight checklist has been shortened to retain only critical items.
Window heat is on. Flight instruments.
Okay, looks like we have a heading of 220. Same on the standby and RMIs, and on your side. And altimeters are set at 2992, twice, 3 times.
And check. And parking brake.
It is set.
And engine start levers.
They are cut off.
The pre-flight checklist is complete.
The before start procedure can begin as soon as the final load sheet has been received, the FMC performance entries are complete, and the MCP entries are finalized.
Full takeoff thrust today?
Full takeoff thrust, please.
Speeds are 129, 131, and 136.
Okay.
Okay, and your trim will be 6.7 today.
Okay. Okay, for today's takeoff, it'll be a left seat takeoff, a flaps 5 with max power.
Note that
Standard,
before
call-out
start
procedure.
now has line items for
400
completion
feet,
of the
we'll double check
taxi
that
and
we have
takeoff
bell nav.
briefings.
Do you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay, good.
Although we won't see it in this program, the pushback procedure
Boeing
is now
Trainer
built
33
into
requesting,
before
starter
start.
clearance.
Boeing Trainer 33, clear for engine start.
And Roger, Trainer 33, clear to start.
Ground, this is the flight deck. Clear on hydraulics and engine start, and the sequence will be 2 followed by 1.
Roger.
Now that they will actually be needed, we can turn on the fuel pumps and the electric hydraulic pumps. Verify that the electric pump low pressure lights extinguish and system A and B pressures and brake pressures are within the proper range.
Okay, how about the before start checklist, please?
And the before start checklist. Flight deck door is locked. And fuel. We have 28,200 pounds and pumps are on. Passenger signs are auto and on. Windows
Locked on the left.
and locked on the right. Mode control panel.
Okay, I've got V2 at 136, heading is 130, and the altitude is flight level 290.
Okay, and takeoff speeds.
V1 is 129, VR is 131, and V2 is 136.
Okay, checked. And CDU pre-flight.
It is completed.
And trim.
6.7 units, and 0, and 0.
And taxi and takeoff briefing.
Completed.
And anti-collision light is on. The before start checklist is complete.
Okay, let's do the engine start procedure.
Roger.
Okay, and sequence will be 2 followed by 1. You're clear to go ahead and start number 2.
The engine start procedure now specifies that the first officer operates the start switches, and the oil pressure rising call-out has been eliminated. Notice that the captain still operates the
Starter
engine
cutout.
start levers.
Okay, good start on number 2. Go ahead and start number 1.
Remember, we've added the before taxi procedure, incorporating many items from and eliminating the old before takeoff procedure.
Ground, you're cleared to remove all the equipment. Thank you.
Roger.
Okay, now let's do the before taxi.
Flaps are set to the
Go ahead
takeoff
and give
position.
flaps 5, please.
Flaps 5.
Thanks.
The captain performs the flight control check.
And do you want the APU today?
Engine ignition is set on for those airplanes that do not have auto ignition, and recall is used to make sure all items not on the checklist are correctly set.
All right, let's do the before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators are on. Probe heat is on. Anti-ice is off. Isolation valve is auto. Engine start switches continuous. Recall is checked. Auto brake RTO. Engine start levers.
They are idle detent.
Flight controls.
They've been checked.
And ground equipment.
It is clear.
The before taxi checklist is complete. Boeing ground, Boeing Trainer 33, information alpha, ready to taxi, runway 13 right.
Boeing Trainer, Boeing
With many
ground,
tasks
clear
having been accomplished in the before taxi procedure, the before takeoff procedure and checklist now contain fewer tasks and items, allowing pilots to devote more attention to the traffic situation. In fact, The before takeoff checklist now only requires that you verify flaps in the correct position for takeoff. This is in case they were retracted for taxiing to prevent contamination, moved for de-icing, or need to be repositioned due to a change in runway or conditions while taxiing.
Boeing Tower, Boeing Trainer 33 is ready for departure, 13 right.
Boeing Trainer, Boeing Tower, you're cleared for takeoff.
And Boeing Tower, Boeing Trainer 33 is cleared for takeoff.
Okay, before takeoff checklist, please.
And before takeoff checklist, flaps.
Flaps are 5, green light.
Before takeoff checklist is complete.
Thanks.
V1.
And rotate. Positive ready to climb.
Okay, gear up.
Feet. And we have LNAV.
Okay, go ahead and give me N1. Give me flaps up speed. And flaps 1.
Flaps 1.
Okay, give me flaps up, please.
Flaps up.
Boeing Trainer 33, contact departure control. Good day.
And schedule departure Boeing Trainer 33.
Due to numerous cases of pressurization problems caused by incorrect settings, the after takeoff checklist now specifically calls for engine bleeds on and packs to auto.
And after takeoff checklist, please.
After takeoff checklist, engine bleeds are on, packs are auto, landing gears up and off, flaps are up, no lights. After takeoff checklist complete.